Hi everyone, I'm Kylie Cloud. So about a year and a half ago, in about February of 2020, I decided that I wanted a major life change and that I wanted to move to a desert. I've lived on the East Coast for my entire life. I feel like when I tell people that I want to move out west, they say why. And I don't really have an answer further than aesthetics. I've decided I'm done with the color green and I'm done with trees. And I would like to see a lot of browns, beiges, taupes, and I've become weary of humidity. Basically, I'm going to be vlogging the entire thing on YouTube as a way for people to understand why I want to move and my thought process of where I want to move. So a friend and I, Mara, have decided to take a road trip out west to scope out where we would like to live. So the 5 cities that we are planning to go to right now, this is all subject to change. In order, Albuquerque, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, and Denver. And we're planning on staying about 5 days at each city, but that's subject to change whether we like or dislike the city. So we could stay probably up to like a week in some cities. And if we don't like the city, we could leave before 5 days. So basically, I'm going on a 2-month road trip starting in about 4 days. I think a road trip is sort of daunting. It's a lot of time in a place that you do not permanently live, which I think is probably the scariest part for me. I always like to have a house that I live in and that I feel comfortable in, and I have a permanent space in, and this is going to be 2 months of not that. It's at the point where it is 4 days away, and I'm not really excited more than I am ready to go. After sitting and planning and thinking about this trip since February of 2020, it is now July 2021, and I am ready to hit the road. What will I be filming? Everything. I will be filming my thoughts on the cities. I will be filming the cities. I will be basically a tour guide both through these cities and through the mind of me. Well, I think it's going to be a really fun adventure, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. Well, it's day 1. We are in Austell, Georgia. We did sort of a half drive today. Driving from Savannah was a very easy drive. We're now just west of Atlanta, and driving around the bypass, not exactly fun. I've never lived in like a big city before, and I don't like driving in cities, which is why, of course, I'm going on a 2-month road trip. I mean, honestly, it's kind of insane that like we're here right now, because we've been planning this trip for a year and a half now, and so now for it to be July of 2021, and for us to actually be like doing this trip, like it doesn't even feel real. It's funny because it doesn't really feel like we have a destination just because we're going to so many different places. It just sort of feels like we're just going, we're just driving. I don't think I've really like wrapped my head around like specifically how far we're driving. Like we are just west of Atlanta right now, but we have to drive to like Las Vegas and back, like around. Like it's a huge undertaking. I think we're insane. So currently we're walking on our way to Six Flags from our lovely motel. I haven't been to an amusement park in about 2 years, since Knott's Berry Farm. We're spending half a day here, and then we will continue driving. So it'll be a nice little half day. So I'm sure everyone's wondering, how do you pack for a road trip? Well, basically in the back, snacks. We have a lovely cooler full of more snacks. We didn't want to keep anything of value in the back where you could see through windows and perhaps have car theft. And so everything of value, such as our suitcases and our backpack and stuff, are all in the back. And it does all fit, which is kind of crazy. Each of us brought a suitcase and a backpack, and we wanted to keep it simple, and it is simple.
They are stressing out right now. Game is going to absolute shit for them.
Why are they lucky?
They can have it.
So we're here in Tuscaloosa, and we checked into our hotel, and we want something to eat. And so I go on Google and look up restaurants, and there's a lovely ramen restaurant that is in central Tuscaloosa, and I want ramen, and I'm gonna try that out. Let's go along on this journey. I'm so excited to get ramen. Ramen in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Who would have thought? Here we are at the ramen place. Lovely. It's in a very new shopping center. Basically, this restaurant is in a almost high-end mall in the middle of Tuscaloosa, sort of near the University of Alabama, but it has a lot of different types of stores. It's all like high-end, medium-end. There's a Chuck E. Cheese across the street, but I mean, it all looks very like new American mall. It's like very nice and pretty, and this store is no exception. The ramen place absolutely did not disappoint. The ramen was delicious. All of the flavors were perfect. We had a little appetizer of pork belly, which beautiful meat. The best part about the entire experience was that they didn't play music. No random atmospherical music. It was quiet and it was a joyous dinner. If y'all are ever in Tuscaloosa, Fuku Ramen, delicious. So this morning at the Microtel in Tuscaloosa, they have a lovely complimentary breakfast. I managed to pick up 2 chewy granola bars, 2 of those. This one is in the flavor of peanut butter chocolate chip. I have also managed to pick up 2 bottles of water. Also 2 apple juices, a fruit punch, and a very berry. And that's all they had. That's it. They didn't have anything else. It's funny, it still hasn't really hit me that, like, this is real, like that I'm traveling across the entire country. I've just had to keep telling myself, oh, you can't get excited because it's a year away. Oh, you can't get excited yet because it's 6 months away. Oh, you can't get excited yet because it's 3 months away, 1 month away. But now I'm actually on the trip, and I have to I can let myself be excited, which is a very strange feeling. And so, like, even on our 3rd day an entire state away from where I live, I'm still like, oh, I have to like go to work in a few days, and I have to like, I don't really understand that like I'm doing this for almost 2 months. Tuscaloosa was really surprising. So it's basically like a college town, but the university, it's the University of Alabama. That is huge. We drove around it last night. That is one of the biggest university campuses that I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it wasn't even like the campus was big. All of the buildings were huge. I feel like Tuscaloosa is a neat place if you ever want to visit somewhere in Alabama. Today's drive is going to be our longest drive yet. It is going to be from Tuscaloosa through 3 states to Shreveport, Louisiana. It's about 400 miles. Allegedly, it's going to take about 6 hours. I don't believe that. We decided to stop in Shreveport because we don't want to go all the way to Dallas. I don't really want to drive in a big city at night in the dark. Dallas is also about 3 hours further than Shreveport, and so we just sort of realized that this is more of a stamina journey rather than a let's race to the finish line journey. So we're stopped outside McDonald's. Have my McDonald's. I have a lovely crispy chicken sandwich. We are deep in Mississippi, right next to the Tractor Supply Company. So I'm here in a Starbucks drive-thru in Jackson, Mississippi. These states are very strange. They're very thin, skinny states, and so you get through them very quickly. It's only about 165 miles through each state. It's about 3:20 right now, and we are getting to Shreveport tonight. Honestly, I bet we could drive further, but I don't really want to drive through Dallas today. The roads are rough here. It reminds me of South Carolina's roads in Mississippi. Otherwise, it just seems like a normal state. It has some hills, and there is not a lot to see. If anyone's wondering about mask usage in the rest of the country, Mississippi in grocery stores has a lot of people wearing masks, and it is generally a lot of people of color wearing masks and a lot of white people not wearing masks, which kind of tracks. Girl, to sun be sunny in Mississippi. So I've never driven across the Mississippi until now. I have been across the Mississippi River. I've been to Los Angeles, but that was flying across the Mississippi River. I have never once in my life driven across the Mississippi River, and we are here in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and we're about to see this big river. Well, now we're in Louisiana. Mississippi is skinny. So today we are in Shreveport, and we went on Yelp. We wanted to find some like Cajun, Creole, whatever type of food. And we found kind of just this hole in the wall type of place. It is very just in the middle of the city. And so, you know, we went there. We're about to try it. I got the mac and cheese. And I got fish, which I guess is catfish, and shrimp. It's very like that in the box. And this right here is called fam sauce, which I assume is very spicy. Let me see. But we just literally found it on Yelp and said, sure. It's flavorful.
Yeah, not necessarily spicy, but it's got good flavor.
It's like a bit of, whew, it's like a bit of smoky, a bit of sweet and sour. Tangy. So yeah, we really just decided that we were gonna sit in the parking lot for Presbyterian Church, just in the middle of Shreveport, Louisiana. And we were gonna eat some fucking shrimp in the parking lot. Shrimp and fish. Very good fries. It also comes with Texas toast. So this is the fish. It truly just has like the bone of the fish going all the way up it. Yeah, just fried fish. Yep, smells like good fried fish. Oh, that's good. Did you get anything with the fish? Oh, you should try some of this fish, because this is like actual, I think this is catfish. It's good. That's very good.
I just got the shrimp.
It's like actual fish.
Good job.
Good fish?
Great fish.
Great fish. I want to try this mac and cheese. I love getting barbecue, fish, Cajun food, whatever, and getting mac and cheese. If an establishment has a side of mac and cheese, I will be getting that mac and cheese. I just love mac and cheese so much. What is this? This is another sauce.
This is a celebration.
Celebration. Interesting. This sauce is like if you took cocktail sauce and added sriracha to it. It almost tastes like a spicy version of the Polynesian sauce from Chick-fil-A. That's what it tastes like. I see the vision. It's very good, yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah. This is a good meal. In other news, Shreveport has the prettiest sunset of our trip. Very gorgeous. We're just here sitting in a parking lot looking at this sunset. We drove all day. That was one of the most boring drives we've taken, but it was also very easy for that reason. I mean, a lot of it was just flat. The only city that we went through was Jackson in Mississippi. Tomorrow, we have a quick drive because we are going to Arlington, which is in between Dallas and Fort Worth, visiting a friend there, and we're gonna go to Six Flags over Texas. Otherwise, this food is delicious. Good morning from Shreveport, Louisiana. Really quickly, the weather that we have been experiencing ever since we left Georgia, impeccable. Like the weather right now it's not even 10 o'clock, I guess, so it would make it warmer, but the weather right now is some of the nicest, most dreamy, like warm but not really humid weather that we have experienced. I just take a deep breath every single time I go outside. It is so lovely. I lied, Texas is hot. Today we're having lunch at the Starbucks, so I have my lovely Starbucks drink, and then we basically just make sandwiches. I bring my Old Bay, of course. We just have a cooler that I got from Walmart that is packed with things, you know. Just like just juices and yogurts and stuff, and I'm about to make me a sandwich. Well, we're here in Grand Prairie, Texas, which is just around Arlington, Texas, which is in between Dallas and Fort Worth. And so on our first day in Texas, I was like, what Texas thing can we do? And so we came to an IKEA. I haven't been to an IKEA in like 3 years. I'm so excited. I love wandering around and just looking at what could be. I love it so much and I'm so excited. I think I'm microdosing Europe by coming to IKEA. I think I enjoy IKEA because it really gives the illusion of what I perhaps could have, and yet don't. Gay, gay, gay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Art Museum of IKEA. Girl, we do be kind of at Six Flags. Oh. not the bush. Not the bush. We are finally in a hotel where it has a kitchen, so we are finally making dinner. So let me tell you about these ridiculous couple of days that we had. Basically, we drove into Arlington, Texas, which is in between Dallas and Fort Worth, right in the center. It is basically a very large suburban area. Think Northern Virginia, around DC. It is just very big open with a lot of commercial area. This is where the Six Flags park is. This is where the big Dallas football stadium is. We had booked a hotel, an extended stay, which is one of these hotels that has the kitchen, and it has the stove, and it has the sink with all the dishes and the pots and pans and stuff. And we get there and it's not really nice, but that's not really what we expect from sort of cheap road trip hotels. The entire place has a smell, which is not great, but maybe due to the amount of people making food in the hotel. Our room is all right. Our room is, it's dark. It's not really friendly or inviting, but it does have things that we need. It has a stove, it has a refrigerator, it has a sink, you know. And so, of course, like, if you have a sink and stuff, you're gonna have pots and pans, and you're gonna have plates, you're gonna have everything in a kitchen that you need to use in a kitchen. No, this wasn't the case. We open all of the cabinets and they are completely empty. They have absolutely nothing in the room. So we go downstairs and we say, hey, do we have any pots, plates, silverware, literally like anything, like a pan? And she goes, no, we don't have any of that because of COVID. They've basically thrown away their entire stock and have ordered a new stock, which has not come in. She also gave another reason, is that other people came down and asked first and have all of the pots, pans, plates, and everything. So they had nothing. So we had a room with a kitchen with nothing to use the kitchen. We had no utensils. We have probably 2 plates in our car. We have a pan. If I'm staying in a room with a kitchen, I expect things like cups, silverware, knife, pot, pan. It just seems exactly what I paid for, you know? Within the first hour, we see a cockroach in the bathroom. Stomp, first of all. I sort of pass it off as like, oh, this is, first of all, not the greatest hotel, and also there's food around, so it sort of makes sense. But here's the thing. Over the next 2 hours of us being in our hotel room, at least 7 different cockroaches across the room, in the bathroom, in the bedroom, on the air conditioning, in the kitchen, everywhere. It was about 11:30 at night when we said, we can't do this. There were no supplies in the kitchen. They did not even have the mattress for the pull-out bed, let alone sheets. And there was a cockroach infestation. We had to get out. And so we left. To be honest, if we had slept in the car, it would have been better than this hotel. So probably for about an hour, I'm sitting in a parking lot on hotels.com looking what's around and calling places. Do you have a room available for tonight at midnight? Hello? And we finally find a place, and so at about 1 a.m. we check into another hotel just to wake up at 8 a.m. the next morning to go to Six Flags. So because I booked the extended stay with the roach infestation for 2 nights, since we were going to be spending a day at Six Flags, I then had to find another hotel for the next night that I canceled at the extended stay. So I had to scramble around and find that hotel before we went to Six Flags so that we could move all of our stuff and check in midday before going back to Six Flags. What I found was one of those extended stay town place Marriotts, which is what I'm in now. And if you will see, they have things in the cupboard. They have plates, they have cups, they have knives, they have silverware, they have everything that you would need for a working kitchen. This is what I paid for, and this is what I expected from that extended stay, but didn't get. Last night I cooked some lovely food. I cooked some pasta, made my own sauce. We bought a pot from the Walmart down the street, and honestly, this worked out perfectly. So it's been a very chaotic couple of nights, but today we are driving to Amarillo, where we are staying another 2 nights in a hotel that we trust more. And so this is the end of the Arlington calamity. So we're here in Wichita at the Wichita River. I just wanted to comment on the color of the water in the Wichita River. It's truly just orange. The most dense orange you will ever see in your life. They got mud in Wichita. Just orange. It's very squeaky and creaky.
Yeah, like, don't be
Well, it's a river. I truly have no words for Wichita Falls. There's not really a lot here. It's a very small town with a highway going through it and a lot of abandoned warehouses and sheds and stuff. I mean, truly, it's in the middle of nowhere and does not have a lot. This is exactly what I expected the Great Plains to look like.
Where is he going? He's just out here.
All of the towns that you drive through are just all of these sort of abandoned, like tiny population, 2,000 people towns. And you are through them in a millisecond. Ah, what a lovely view. We had an extra day to sort of figure out what to do, so we decided to wander around Amarillo for a while. It's about 10 in the morning. It's a lovely temperature, but the sun is very hot, and we have decided to go to Cadillac Ranch, that lovely landmark where all the Cadillacs are in the ground. Someone gave us spray paint, so now we have spray paint to spray paint the cars. Get out of here. Oh, this sure is cool. STD. Something about this feels incredibly American, that we are just all standing in a cornfield with a bunch of cars, just in the middle of a field, and we are just spray painting these cars that are in the grounds. Like, that is so, like, we are so bizarre as a nation and a community. Welcome to Route 66.
Everything's closed before 11 a.m.
So we're here at Whataburger. This is our first Whataburger experience. We thought since we were in Texas, we would go to Whataburger. I would like a double meat Whataburger Whatameal, please.
All right, 2216 out the window.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lovely.
Thought I would try their onion rings.
Yes. So we got burgers, we got fries, we got a shake, we got onion rings.
What else?
A 3-course meal.
Look at these. I don't know if you can see them here. Highest rated spa. Those claws. Yes, please.
Wow.
Love that.
I need to ask for more water. I can't do this hotel water.
I need more water too.
Ugh, this hotel water is
So bad. But
nasty.
necessary hiking.
So nasty. Can you imagine we're eating literal hamburgers and then going for a hike in a canyon in the sun? We're crazy. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. Compliment to my glasses, yes.
Can we please find some shade somewhere?
I don't think there's shade in Texas, to be fair.
Are we just gonna eat in the car? Let's just eat
Yeah.
in the car. I can't go outside.
No, we're not going outside. We're eating right here in the air-conditioned car in front of my iPhone. So how are the onion rings?
Very good. Pretty flavorful.
Does the batter taste good? Because sometimes onion rings has just
I'll be
regular-
honest, like, the batter, well, first of all, it's not extremely greasy, like some onion rings will be like dripping with it, but it's not extremely flavorful either.
I'm gonna try one.
Onion, it's got a good taste. It's very hot. Happy with it.
I like the
overall.
texture of it.
Yeah, me too.
It's very soft. It's not crunchy, but it does
Does have a
crisp.
crunch, yeah.
It's crisp, not crunchy. This is a peaches and cream milkshake. Oh, that's lovely.
What did you get?
I got a double patty situation.
Okay. Interesting.
How are their fries?
Can I guess? Just by looking at them,
Yeah.
not flavorful.
They honest to God taste exactly like McDonald's fries. Genuinely, I mean,
They look like them.
these are McDonald's fries.
Yeah. Literally
Maybe-
McDonald's fries.
Maybe they can be amped up with the spicy ketchup that I got.
Ooh.
She said, "Do you want spicy ketchup?" I said, "Yes, please."
I got like a jalapeno burger.
Is that the pico de gallo burger?
No, jalapeno cheddar. I
Oh.
think it is.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, well, it's like a really big burger.
I love the wrapping paper that they use on their burgers. It just feels, like it's actual paper and not some flimsy thing. This is also a huge burger that I've got.
Huge.
On first smell, it smells exactly like Five Guys. I got a double patty. It also has lettuce and cheese and like a tomato in it. Very thin patties. Also reminds me of Shake Shack's patties. Interesting.
Interesting.
It's good.
A cross section of the burger for you people.
How do you feel about the bun?
The bun is very sturdy.
Mm-hmm.
Sturdier than I would have expected from fast food, period.
Yeah, it's a very dense bun.
I'm getting a lot of mustard in my burger. Are you?
Yeah. It's a ton of mustard.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wish they did have ketchup. But that's why she gave us so many ketchup packets, because guess what? I'm putting in ketchup on my burger now. Well, overall, it doesn't feel like a tourist trap. It feels like a well-run, regular fast food place. When I went to In-N-Out when I was in Los Angeles, that felt like a tourist trap. That felt like it was just not great burgers, and people from the East just went to In-N-Out because it was In-N-Out. But this actually feels like a good burger. This feels, I'll take this. This is a nice fast food place. Their fries could be better. Overall, I'd give it like probably a 7 out of 10. I mean, it's nothing mind-blowing, but it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the burger itself is composed all right. I mean, it's definitely better than McDonald's. I will say that.
Yes.
What I think, like I give it a 7 because the onion rings. I thought those were pretty good.
This has been a lovely Whataburger review. We give it a good 7 out of 10. If you're ever in Texas, go to Whataburger. So we're out here at the Palo Duro Canyon. It is the second largest canyon in the country behind the Grand Canyon. There's a lot of rocks and it is very large, but the funniest part is that when you're driving here, it's just completely flat land, just farmlands, and you can see forever, and then very suddenly there's a very deep canyon just in the middle of nowhere, about half an hour outside of Amarillo. This is like exactly the type of landscape that I wanted when I said that I wanted to come to the West. Just like big rocks, desert. Like, this is exactly what I wanted. Doing a bit of hiking, you know, through the canyon. There's a ton of grasshoppers. Let's go this way. There's cacti out here, which is cool. Hopefully we do not see a rattlesnake. We've decided to turn around because there are horsefly type flies out here and they bite. Ugh, and they're all over. Oh, I don't like this. Ugh. They bite and they hurt. Ow. And they are everywhere. Oh my God. Hiking canceled. We had enough. Ow! God damn it. Ah! Going back in the car. Okay, so here's the thing. We are here at Palo Duro State Park, and at the entrance, the guy checking us in where we pay was like, are you guys here for the show? And we were like, what show? He was like, there's a show. It's basically a musical that takes place in the canyon. Like, that's it. It's a musical. And we were like, oh, well, okay, well, maybe. And he was like, well, if you decide, you can always buy your tickets down there. And paying for the tickets gets you into the park for free. And we were like, okay. The more I thought about it, the more I was like, we need to do this. We need to see this musical in the middle of Texas, in the middle of a canyon. We have no idea what this musical is about, what it's going to be, but we just had to do it. And so as we walked up to the ticket booth, one of the employees started chatting with us and said, oh, you guys are from Savannah, Georgia? Well, someone left a free ticket for me if you guys would like it. And so we basically are seeing this musical in a canyon with a free ticket. So maybe it's fate. I will give the full review after the show.
Okay, this little map was up there.
So we just got out of the play Texas, the outdoor musical. The time right now has got to be, it's 11 p.m. We have just gotten out of this musical that started at 8:30 and had one intermission. Now let's quick review. Let's go over the broad points first. Let's see. The acting was fine. They knew how to do that. The dancing was excellent.
Yes.
The sets, beautiful. Lighting, gorgeous. The production value of the entire thing, amazing, incredible, rich. Basically, it was on an amphitheater with the stage and then the cliffs of the canyon behind it. We are in the valley of the canyon watching
Beautiful.
this music. It's gorgeous. They light like all of the canyon behind it. They had pyrotechnics. They had fireworks. At one point, there was a lightning strike, and they basically had dynamite coming down the mountain or the cliff face all the way down to a tree at the base of it. Basically, they used all of the space behind the stage, so it would be the stage, and then probably more than 1,000 feet back through that sight line past the stage, there would be things like horses running back and forth. At one point, they set the thing on fire. They had basically like bars of pyrotechnics lined up all throughout the little woods beneath the cliff behind the stage, and they set it all on fire at one point, so that it literally was like the entire thing was on fire. The acting was fine. The writing needed work. It needed help. Basically, the plot of the play was it was Texas. It was a nationalistic version of Texas. It was very
a rewriting of the past, and just trying to express like how white people took over the state in a very we did nothing wrong way.
It was a history lesson through the eyes of Texas,
Yeah.
about Texas. It was a very let's talk about ourselves type of play, which makes sense since we're literally in Texas. But I mean, the entire thing was like he's a farmer and she's she's from St. Louis and there's someone who they
She's so
don't get
prim and
along
proper.
with. Yes, it was very like that, which is exactly what I expected from this. Basically, if you have ever watched Christopher Guest's movie Waiting for Guffman, the entire stage play in that movie about Blaine, Indiana, the writing was that. It was very like, oh, I'm just a farm boy, and you, and accents laid on each other, accent upon accent. You better get on down to the country, boy, and get these crops ready. That the entire time, it was shtick and ham and sauce laid on each other.
Precious, you ain't gonna drink that liquor.
Precious, you ain't gonna drink that liquor. They had a section of Native Americans in which the Native Americans used spirits to heal the man.
They did not use Native American, but
they gave the one Native American character a small paragraph about how white people had removed them from the land and moved them to the reservations, and that was that, of course. But
then the railroads came.
The dancing was lovely. You could tell that a lot of these people are not from Texas. Like, I bet. So they had. The budget for this was incredible. They had fireworks, they had pyrotechnics, they had huge sets, they had rotating sets, they had multiple rotating sets.
Oh, wow.
So I'm gonna say that not a lot of these actors were from Texas because they had the budget to pick them from other theater communities and bring them to this canyon.
Yeah, and I mean the person that we saw when we were walking in who gave us a free ticket, lovely. Even mentioned that some of these actors and actresses are going to, or maybe will be going to Broadway.
The dance sequences were amazing, like probably Broadway level.
Yeah,
I'd
really
say.
well trained.
It was a good got to be 50 people on that stage.
Yeah.
That was a massive stage and they used every inch of it. It got to the point where they talked for so long that when you would have a group number, it would be like, oh
God.
Finally, oh my God, they're dancing. Oh, thank God. I mean, it would get to a point where they would just keep talking about oh, I'm on a ranch and I want to marry this girl and this girl wants to marry me, but I don't think I'm good enough for this girl. That I would just stare at the cliff face. It was so beautiful. The sun was setting. setting. It was so gorgeous. I would just zone out completely. And that was worth the money that I paid for this.
The cliffs were lit so well.
I mean, when I tell you that they had they had huge lights lit all the way to the cliff face. We were very far from the cliff face. We were in the valley. They had lights all the way, thousands of feet beyond the stage, lighting up the mountain. Like, they had spotlights on the mountains. I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous. Like, I think I got my money's worth. The only thing that really needed work in this entire thing was the writing. That writing was SNL skit. What would a Texas play about Texas be about? It was so goofy and predictable, ridiculous. Just, it felt like a satirized version of something that it already was. It was so stupid and funny.
Not to mention them also just like talking about the pandemic at the end, which
was ironic since we're in Texas, which was like the worst place in the pandemic because they didn't do anything.
Okay, honey, this pandemic isn't over for you yet. It's still happening.
They had projection screens of like stock footage of like frontline workers going, and like stress and like people like losing their loved ones, and then they had stock footage of like graveyards and cemeteries and stuff, all while America the Beautiful is playing. Fireworks, pyrotechnics. There were water features in front of the pyrotechnics with lit water features while we're showing these stock footage, thanking all of the firemen, the policemen. Thank you so much for helping us through the pandemic and COVID. So ironic the entire time. It was so goofy and hilarious. Texas is crazy.
Texas is really just wild.
Oof. Good morning. Why does it smell like piss and shit in Amarillo?